Hello, this is Oren Kriegel for Bridge Winners. I'm here with Steve Weinstein, Bridge Winners co-founder.
Hey, Oren, how's it going?
It's going well.
Hey, Bridge Winners.
Hey. So you guys just came off a pretty good win, round of 8.
Yeah, we did. Our team played well, and the opponents played very well, and we were fortunate, and we're happy to be in the undefeated bracket.
It's good. So there was some hand. I was your view graph operator for the 3 sets you played yesterday, and there was a hand very early in the match where Bob Hammond got to 5 diamonds. I actually posted this on Bridge Winners. You can find the article, but you led a club, and Dummy had queen third, and Bob had 2, and Bob put up the queen of clubs in tempo, and then Bobby started thinking for a long time, like 5 minutes at least, and he eventually ducked, which looked really bad on the actual hand. He ducked the setting trick, and this unmakeable game just made.
Thanks for bringing this hand up. It was really enjoyable.
Try to ask the hard questions.
You're
right?
fired, Oren. That's it. Interview over.
So, and after the hand, you had no reaction. Bobby apologized. You didn't really say anything at all. And I was just wondering, like, what's going through your head there when you're thinking about this, and you obviously know what he's thinking about, and you know what's going to happen if he ducks. So.
I knew what was going to happen. The longer it took, the worse it felt. It was like, it was really interesting. Like, Bob played the queen of clubs so fast. It was like the great Bob Hammond. It was such a great play he made. And as Bobby's thinking and thinking and thinking, I'm thinking, damn, that was a really good play Hammond made. Then I'm thinking, I really wish I had led the king of clubs. Then I'm thinking, that Fantoni Nunes system, that vertical horizontal,
right.
that thing would have been really good too.
Right, because you led vertical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Or like a single,
if I could have done the vertical horizontal, hopefully I randomized my leads. I kind of just fling them out there, but you could see like the advantage of why Fantoni Nunes were so difficult to beat, because they would never even have.
And this one
they wouldn't waste it. Even if we would have gotten it right, it would have been a lot of energy to use. So that makes hands like this so easy. But
and like catching these guys, like it wouldn't look at all suspicious. He just plays third hand high and plays whatever.
Right. And the hand would take like 2 seconds, and it would be like no energy. It'd be like, this is a nothing hand. Right. If you're looking through the box scores, it wouldn't even show up.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh, they played game down, the table played part score.
Yeah. But I really had a lot of respect for Hammond's play. Like, I wasn't mad at Bobby or anything. It's like, whether he made the right play or the wrong play, it was a human play. He played for something. And but Hammond was like putting up the queen of clubs. That was pretpretty strm.
Yeah,
pretty strong.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, of course, it's Bob Hammond.
And that's like basically everyone I've talked to here has told them about this hand, and they're like, wow, and they're more impressed with Bob's play than critical of.
That's how
Bobby's.
I felt. Yeah, I felt like he was so alive to this the situation. It was just unbelievable. So yeah, I had a tortured 5 minutes, but I had a lot of between all those other thoughts, there was nothing but respect for Bob Hammond.
And and you guys obviously did well that set, and then throughout the match, so it didn't throw you guys off.
Yeah, we're pretty good at like putting. We've taken a lot of punches over the years. We try really hard not to let anything bad affect us. We're going to take, hopefully for a lot more years, we'll take a lot of punches.
So you mentioned like Fantoni and Nunes, and obviously Bridge Winners is a huge part of breaking the cheating scandals and getting some of these cheating pairs thrown out of the game. And just, we're like, coming up on 2 years since Boya, started the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And they've been gone, these pairs have been gone for a year or more. Mm-hmm. And just what's your take on, like, what's the game like now without them?
It really is just so much more pleasant to go into a match and feel like you're not going to be cheated. Even if you beat a cheating team, like, we've won some, we've lost some. We lost more to Fantoni Nunes than we won. Over the years, it's been pretty frustrating. We did fine against Fischer and Shorts, but Pickroff and Smirnoff, and the other case is still being debated, so I'm not going to discuss it. But just the idea that it's a fair fight, and if you play really well, you really have a fair chance to win.
Right.
Makes the game that we've all worked so hard at, the people that care about it, that. It was really a crying shame that these people ruined it, and now it feels like people say Bridge is dying, and maybe it is, I don't know, but it feels like we're at a level playing field, and that really is encouraging to me.
So, recently you played the Cavendish, you won the Cavendish teams you were playing with Zia, and it was Vince Demouy and Hurd.
Yeah,
And
it was a fun team. Yeah.
First time you played the event in a few years, right?
Yeah, I actually hadn't gone back to Monaco. I mean, we played 1 year after Fischer Schwartz had won, but it was under the condition that Fischer and Schwartz didn't play, and I wasn't really happy with when we played. There was some other pairs there that I felt really it didn't feel great to me, so I really wasn't interested in going back. And I took a few years off, and then Zia asked me, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And it felt like a very good atmosphere. They ran a great tournament. Jean Charles and Pierre ran a great tournament, and it just felt clean. And the idea of having a contest that's clean anywhere gives me great hope.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for this, and because I'm starting basically playing these kind of events, and I don't have to worry about these kind of teams for the most part, right? Whereas people who are 10, 15 years older than me have been playing the last coming up. You think of like Justin Law and Kevin Bathurst,
Sure.
those guys. They're coming up where some of the top teams are cheating,
Yes.
and it's hard to get. It's hard enough to get in, get your foot in the door basically. When these teams are cheating, it's even more.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful personally.
Yeah, you're in a position. I mean, look, you're obviously more than an up and coming player, and you're in a position where you can feel good about your. If you play well, you're supposed to win. If your team plays well, you're supposed to win. It's like that's really good. We weren't always in a position of just playing well was good enough to win.
Right.
To be there
and
is great.
You look at these really close matches. You lose to the cheating teams or win. I mean, like you guys won the 2014 Vanderbilt. You won such a tight match, the final against Monaco.
Against Antonio Nunes.
Right. And then, but I also think of the 2014 Rosenblum semifinal. Like Diamond lost a very close match to Monaco, and I mean, that's the sort of it's just so tragic. Where obviously, if a cheating team beats you by like 50, maybe they didn't cheat out of 50 games or whatever. But if they beat you by 5, come on, that has to have been directly because of the cheating.
Yeah, so. I mean, we lost to them in Valley in the semifinals. When we were playing with Gavin, one of my partners, first winners, and Cran, and KD and Kevin Bathurst, and me and Bobby, and it was like we had a great fun team, and we ran into a team that
wasn't playing by the rules.
Wasn't playing by the rules,
right? Well, speaking of that team, so that was the year that the four-handed team with Kevin Dwyer, and just Kevin Dwyer, Kevin Bathurst, Gavin, and Kraniak.
Right.
And they won the trials. They won. They were the USA 1 team. This event 4 years ago.
Right.
And now Dwyer's back with a similar team. It's all pros, right? And they're in the semifinals now. People on that team. Kevin Dwyer is awesome. I play with him reasonably a lot he's my teammate in regionals, my partner sometimes, and I like a lot of people on that team, and they play well, and that's a really that match against Diamond is a real interesting match tomorrow. Do you have a pick for who's gonna win?
Who's gonna win the event? Yeah.
Well, no, that match.
Oh, no, I think it's really good. I mean, I think it's a toss-up. Either team is 120 boards. It's going to be a battle. That's a really tough fight. So
how about your match? Because you're playing the Harris team. This is sort of the Cinderella team in the semifinals here. They were on the cusp of not qualifying for the USA 1 knockout. They needed to win their last match. If they'd gotten soundly beaten in their last match, they would not have qualified. And then they played Fleischer. Yeah, they were playing Simpson. They were playing Simpson and Aker and the Stansbys. And they were in the last qualifying position, and Simpson was in the first non-qualifying position. They were playing heads up, and Simpson needed like 16.5 victory points. If they had gotten that, they would have qualified in Harris.
Wow, so they barely qualified. They won by small, and they won by small.
They were leading. I mean, they were ahead by 10 or something.
Right.
So they just needed to, they could have lost by a little and still been fine.
I mean, I hope they're not the team of destiny.
Right, exactly.
That's kind of what I'm. The good news is I'm not superstitious at all, and I don't believe in that stuff. And I think if our team plays well and plays on form, then our team could do very well. But I certainly have a lot of respect for what the Harris team has done. They must be playing very well and
certainly performing, clutch, right? Because they got off to a big lead in this most recent match, they were up by 50 or something at the half, and then the first half of the day they lost it all back and more. They were down like 30. But they just battled back.
Wow.
And they came back, they were down 4.
That's so hard to do. It's like
exactly.
As a sports fan, you don't really see that happening. It's like you're up and you're down. You don't usually so, that's
right, much more often when you see a team.
I have a mad respect for the Harris
team. An underdog team who start out there leading, they're doing well, and then the tide turns against them.
Once it turns, it usually turns.
It's usually it's just but they didn't happen, and they battled back in the seventh and 8th segments, and then in overtime even they got to overtime and they picked up big to start, and then they went down. They were down in overtime.
Wow.
They won 2 swings on the first 2 boards, lost 2 on the next 2, and then 3 pushes.
That's incredible.
And they beat a game that they didn't beat at the other table. It was on the opening lead. They needed to cash out against a 4 hearts. And again, it came down to the last board.
That's a tremendous effort. And, I would wish the Harris team good luck to continue, but since I'm playing you guys Harris, I'm going to have to wish you bad luck.
So I guess my advice is, if you want to beat them, you should be up by 25 imps going into the last board.
Okay.
Because they've been winning it on the last board.
I appreciate that. I'll try to take that. Anything else?
Not really. New hat?
Yes, thank you. This hat, my wife gave me this. Hi, Liz. I love you. She's back in New York, New Jersey, and she said all the cool kids were wearing this hat.
All right. Well, I must not be one of them because I've never seen this before.
I don't really know. All I know is she gave it to me. I'm wearing it, and it's gonna become another lucky hat, hopefully.
Cool. All right.
All right. Thank you, Oren.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow.